Kiir says peace has no alternative as the African Union delegation visits Juba. Relief authorities engage key actors on effecting relief action plan for 3 million people. And Governor of Jonglei State, Dr. Riegai Kok, confirms a steady security as he visits Twitch East County. Hello, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to SSBC. I am Mathiang Joseph. Begin our news for tonight at the State House, where President Salva Kiir stresses that peace remains the single practical option for South Sudan. The President highlighted a significant progress in the implementation of the peace agreement after declaring inclusive dialogue with opposition political parties as a means of sustaining peace and stability ahead of the country's December 2026 general elections. President Kiir made the remarks during a meeting with the visiting African Union ad hoc committee as the country continues preparations for its long-awaited national elections. SSBC's Leandro Lotok reports.
With time running out to implement key provisions of the peace agreement and prepare for general elections, regional attention is firmly fixed on South Sudan's progress. On Thursday, President Salva Kiir Mayardit met with the African Union high-level ad hoc committee for South Sudan, reassuring the delegation that his government remains committed to peace, stability, and a successful transition. The delegation led by South African Ronald Lamola is in the country to assess the status of the revitalized peace agreement and evaluate preparations for the upcoming elections. Speaking to SSBC after the meeting, Minister Lamola said lasting peace is essential to ensure that political, technical and security arrangements are fully in place for credible and peaceful elections.
We continued to call for peace, for ceasefire across the country, and to create an enabling environment for the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, anchored by all the relevant stakeholders who are signatories to the peace agreement. And we have continued to call revitalized agreement, and the transition can only be concluded when there are free, fair, credible and inclusive elections.
South Sudan's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Mande Semaya Kumba, said President Kiir reaffirms his government's determination to restore peace, conduct elections, and strengthen cooperation with regional and international partners.
And His Excellency the President also reassured them of our commitment to peace, elections, and cordial cooperation with our international and regional partners, including our commitment for a better life to the people of the Republic of South Sudan.
The AUC5 committee brings together Algeria, Chad, Nigeria, Rwanda, and South Africa. The group is mandated to engage directly with the government, opposition groups, and other stakeholders to build consensus and accelerate the implementation of the peace agreement. As December approaches, the message from Juba is clear. Peace remains the foundation for credible elections and South Sudan's journey to a democratic renewal and lasting stability. Leandro Lotok, SSBC News, Juba.
Thank you, Leandro Lotok, for that report. Now moving on, South Sudan and Turkey have continued to complement each other for continued bilateral cooperations between the two countries. This follows a meeting between the Vice President for the Economic Cluster, Dr. James Wane Iga, and the Turkish Ambassador to South Sudan, Metin Egan. We focus on bolstering bilateral economic and trade cooperation for shared development.
Discussion of how all bilateral relations are improving and what momentum we need to give things in the pipeline, and I believe that this visit has been very good and will have impact on not just in our economic relations, but also.
In other news, Vice President Dr. James Wane-Iga, in a meeting with the Apostolic Nuncio to South Sudan, Simmons Patrick Organ, stresses continued peace and stability nationwide despite isolated insecurity-related issues that he says have been contained, setting a tone for December elections at the end of the transitional period. The Apostolic Nuncio Simmons Patrick Organ highlights the importance of peace and unity in the sustainable development of the country.
And particularly, we spoke about the Holy See's concern for peace in South Sudan. That peace, of course, needs to be prepared for by a de-escalation, particularly of the unfortunate violent conflicts that are still happening around the country. So we spoke of the Holy See's hope that the Catholics of this country would give voice to that wish for peace, and that those in positions of authority in the country would promote peace and would promote a de-escalation of the current situation so that peace can flourish, and on top of peace, development, of course. So the Vice President assured me of his ardent wish also to see that movement towards peace, towards de-escalation, and he assured me that as a voice he would speak in that way.
South Sudan is set to send a delegation of ministers of education and health to China for talks with Lee Foundation after inviting South Sudan for direct educational and medical engagements aimed at fostering capacity building programs towards rejuvenating the country's education and health sectors. The Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Madud Biarial, together with the Minister of Health, Sarah Kleto Real, briefed the Vice President for the Service, Cluster Joseph Lagu, on preparations for an official government trip to the Republic of South Korea, following an invitation from the Lee Foundation.
The purpose of this meeting is to brief Her Excellency about the possibility of a trip to South Korea. We have received an invitation from Lee Foundation as the Ministry of Higher Education and the Ministry of Health for a tour of opportunities and building our relationship in terms of health and higher education between South Sudan and the Lee Foundation. So we are anticipating traveling over this weekend, and we are going to be having a series of meetings and tours around the areas of higher education and also the areas of health in terms of training and pharmaceuticals.
The government has begun engaging the government of China on plans for operationalizing the SSBC modern studios as part of preparations for the upcoming December general elections. The Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Tanyuega Teng, convened with the Chinese ambassador to South Sudan, Mike Kiang, regarding bringing the newly Chinese-constructed South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation studios into operation. Minister Teng says the new studios are expected to significantly enhance broadcasting capacity, improve its production quality, and support the modernization of public media in the country as the country prepares for general elections in December this year. Ambassador Kiang reaffirmed China's commitment to supporting the country's development and stresses the importance of media infrastructure in promoting information sharing, cultural exchange, and national unity. SSBC's Managing Director John Madol Panther also attended the meeting.
We discussed with His Excellency the Chinese ambassador means of how to retrain those who received training, and we had more engineers to be trained on this technology, on how to operate this technology. His Excellency was very positive. His Excellency, the Ambassador of China in Juba, was very positive on operationalizing the new studio of the SSBC. As South Sudan is working to go for general elections, comes December 2026, opening a new studio which has a number of channels that can allow all the participating political parties in the election to render their campaigns possible and reachable to the people of South Sudan in order to have choice of their leaders. It is critical now that the new studio of the SSBC be opened in a timely fashion.
I assure His Honorable that China will continue to support South Sudan, both in the peace process and the development, so that we will try to will look into it, at the concrete challenges, and try to find solutions so that the SSBC facilities could be utilized so that people have a better access.
Now, exploring the medical situation, the National Minister of Health, Sarah Rial, and the Director of Humanitarian Development at the Embassy of the United Kingdom have discussed addressing challenges in the national health sector that include medical equipment shortages in the country.
The general discussion was just to see the progress of the health sector transformation project. As we know, our partnership with the UK goes a long way, and the UK is also one of the donors for the health sector transformation project. We also have a platform or a place that brings us all as the high-level coordination or steering committee for the health sector transformation project.
Had a very useful discussion, which was very helpful in exploring some of the health challenges that are taking place in South Sudan. The UK is keenly interested in helping the ministry and the people of South Sudan with healthcare. We've made a significant investment into the health sector transformation program, which we're very proud of. It's in our interests to make that program as successful as possible and make the best use of the resources that we have. And
Juba and Khartoum have renewed efforts to deepen cooperation in the energy sector. For regional development, the Minister of Energy and Dams, Agok Makurkur, and the Ambassador of Sudan to South Sudan, Issam Mohamed Karar, convened to reviewing frameworks of cooperation between the two countries. South Sudan is persuading investors to venture into the country, but the country lacks a steady electrical power supply essential for supporting heavy industries in the country.
اللقاء اليوم مع سفير السودان بجنوب السودان السفير عصام محمد حسن كرار كانت زيارة إيجابية تناقشنا فيها قضايا مهمة متعلقة بالطاقة والسدود، ولقد تطرقنا لكيفية تطوير الطاقة في جنوب السودان والاستفادة أيضا من الخبرات الكبيرة لدولة السودان في مجال الطاقة والسدود، وأيضا تطرقنا لتبادل الخبرات بين البلدين، وكذلك تطرقنا أيضا تدريب الكادر الجنوبي من قبل دولة السودان، وأيضا تطرقنا لأنه يكون هناك زيارات متبادلة بين وزارة الطاقة في السودان ووزارة الطاقة والسدود في جنوب السودان من مستوى رفيع الوزراء وكذلك الجانب الفني الأقل من الوزارات. عموما هذه الزيارة تعتبر دافع أساسي بالنسبة لنا في وزارة الطاقة والسدود، ومع العلم التمام أن البلدين يربطهم علاقات إيجابية وعلاقات كبيرة، وأيضا أنا تحدثت له باعتبار السودان هو الضامن لاتفاقية السلام المنشط. أكدنا له أنه نحن أيضا في الحكومة الوحدة الوطنية تعهدنا أن نستمر في هذا السلام ويتم تنفيذه حتى النهاية.
تناقشنا في هذه الزيارة كيفية تطوير العلاقات الثنائية بين وزارتي الطاقة في السودان وفي جمهورية جنوب السودان من خلال تبادل الخبرات. تناقشنا أيضا في كيفية تطوير وسائل إنتاج الكهرباء في جمهورية جنوب السودان بالاستفادة من الخبرات السودانية، وإن شاء الله ستكون في مستقبل الأيام هنالك مشاريع مشتركة بين البلدين لتوفير الطاقة والسدود للبلدين لما فيه مصلحة الشعبين في السودان وجمهورية.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdalbagir, called on the Zimbabwean ambassador to South Sudan, Kosam, have explored areas of cooperation between Juba and Harare, aimed at strengthening agricultural regional development. The discussions focused on crop development, animal husbandry, fisheries, irrigation, climate-smart agriculture, and seed-related collaboration, respectively.
And this meeting also focused on the areas of processing and marketing, areas related to research in agriculture, and areas which are very important in supporting farmers, particularly when it comes to issues related to post-harvest losses and how to reduce these post-harvest losses and put together the food on the silos that Zimbabwe has also a comparative advantage. The meeting also focused on areas of collaboration in terms of exchange visits and also exchange of experts in terms of visits and exposure visit between the two countries.
In the area of irrigation, we also have expertise in irrigation because we have established the requisite infrastructure. We have established a number of dams. We can extend that capacity so that we climate-proof our agriculture. So we are also offering training in irrigation development, mechanization, manufacturing of basic implements for cultivation, for processing agricultural products. We are also open to do that. And seeds, we are ready to cooperate in that area so that we develop seeds.
Now, reverting your attention to the humanitarian situation, relief authorities have drawn together key stakeholders to implement the durable solutions strategy and plan of action targeting millions of internally displaced people, returnees, refugees, and host communities in South Sudan. The move underscores the government's dedication to addressing the relief crisis. SSBC's Adiangane reports.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management hosted a crucial consultation meeting with the United Nations humanitarian organizations, national ministers, and state governors to advance implementation of the National Durable Solution Strategy and Plan of Action. This initiative is intended to support refugees, returnees, and internally displaced persons and host communities in achieving sustainable and dignified solutions. Minister Albino Akolatak explains the urgent need for action, noting that by the end of 2025, South Sudan was estimated to have been hosting approximately 2.7 million internally displaced persons and 3 million returnees. He says the government is working on restoring dignity, security, and opportunity for displaced populations by promoting resilience, peace, and self-reliance through expanded access to basic services and sustainable livelihoods.
This strategy was officially launched in October another year, the next year, 2024. Following extensive consultation with the national and state authorities, and this is why you see the state authorities are here. Affected communities were also consulted, the United Nations, development partners, donors, partners, and civil societies. The strategy recognizes that displacement in South Sudan is not only a humanitarian issue, but a development, peace and governance challenge.
Anita Kiki, the United Nations Coordinator for Humanitarian Aid, plugs continued UN support in addressing the humanitarian crisis. She emphasizes coordinated technical assistance, resource mobilization, evidence generation, field-level implementation aligned with the Durable Solutions Strategy, National Plan of Action, and state-level roadmaps.
We are fully committed. The priority 3 areas or 3 states that we've talked about is where we would want to move aggressively to make progress in the next year. So for us, the indicator of success will be if at this time next year we're able to say in Western Barra Ghazal, in Unity and in Jonglei, those 60,000, we've moved 60,000 people, assisted them to move from a camp setting to living within the communities.
Dr. Victoria Anib Majur, head of IGAD Mission to South Sudan, emphasizes durable solutions to regional challenges cannot be achieved merely through movements. Root causes have to be addressed through identifying real sustainable solutions.
The communique reflects IGAD's core principles that durable solution must be government-led, development-oriented, and anchored on peace and security. Positive elements of this communique include strong government leadership. I commend your leadership, Honorable Minister Albino. The strong political will is reflected by the presence of all ministers in this room, as well as representatives of state governance. That's really key to the implementation of durable solution, and we really commend that leadership from the government of South Sudan.
This forum provides a platform for defining new mechanisms for addressing displacement, associated challenges, and fostering long-term stability in South Sudan. Reporting for SSBC News, Adiangane, Juba.
In related development, the Minister of Environment and Forestry, Mabior Garangdi Mabior, and the United Nations Humanitarian Residence Coordinator, Anita Kiki, have convened discussions on fostering collaborations aimed at addressing environmental challenges in the country.
Today, I received a courtesy visit from the Special Representative of the Secretary General of the UN acting. We discussed many issues. The Special Representative and the Undersecretaries were present, and they gave a briefing about different projects which are undergoing, pledging our political support to them, and we look forward to engaging further with them. Thank you.
We've just concluded a courtesy call with the new minister. It was an opportunity to brief him on some of the priorities of the United Nations in South Sudan. It was a good opportunity to be briefed about some of the recent developments in the ministry. And last but not least, it was good to hear about some of the priorities that the minister would like to see move forward in the next year or two. We pledged our continued support. We see on a daily basis the impact of the climate crisis on South Sudan. And so we look forward, as always, for continued
Position paper to Central Equatorial State Governor Emmanuel Adil Anthony on challenges facing the area, such as child abduction, lack of medical care facilities and education services, as well as road infrastructure, seeking practical solutions. Governor Adil reassures is a demonstration commitment to resolving these challenges.
We came with the tidings of peace, development, and prosperity to our state. And thirdly, we came here to share with him some issues that are affecting the communities in delivering the services to our people. And our discussion was very fruitful, and the governor gave us the way forward for how to overcome.
In related development, the governor of a central Equatorial State, Emmanuel Adel Anthony, commissions the newly built State Ministry of Animal Resources, Fisheries and Tourism, saying it will create conducive working environment for the staff to deliver efficient services. He calls on other institutions of the state government to follow the footsteps of the Ministry of Animal Resources.
This new headquarters for this ministry is set to cultivate a productive work atmosphere, and I eagerly anticipate witnessing a tangible results that will strengthen our tourism sector, enhance the value of our livestock, and leverage our resources, and develop a sound policies to promote our fisheries. To the other institutions present here, take this as an inspiration from the Minister of Animal Resources and embrace innovation and launch similar initiatives within your organizations, be it ministries or commissions or other institutions of the state.
These buildings stand as pride and powerful symbols of our collective commitment to a strategic direction pillar on economic recovery through agriculture, which include livestock, fisheries, and tourism sectors. Furthermore, these structural achievements are the testimonies of our brave and courageous journey to realign with the economic realities of the times. With improved facilities, enhanced veterinary service, and centralized hub for policy and planning,
Moving to Malakal, the capital of Upper State, where the government there has echoed presidential pardoning, releasing a number of inmates with minor cases. This comes following the visit of Governor Jacob Dola to Malakal prison to gather facts on challenges facing the correctional facility. Brigadier General Solomon Arop, your acting director of Malakal prison, lists some common challenges in the prison, appreciating the visit.
وده جزء من اهتمامات بتاعة الحاكم في السنة الجديدة إنه هو يشرف ويشوف الوضع بتاعة المساجين، وده بوري جدية بتاعة حكومة ولاية على النيل وجدية بتاعة القيادة الجديدة للولاية في إنه يراقب الوضع بتاع المواطنين بتاعه سواء كانوا في السجن أو في أي محل، لأنه هم ناس مهمين جدا. وده هدية بتاعة رأس السنة للمساجين بتاعنا ولشعب ولاية على النيل.
We are for human being, protection of human being. So لما ندافع للإنسان لو كمل الحاكم لو قرر على أساس نجي يشوف المساجين ده صفة بتاع leadership. برضو حاكم عمل حاجة كويس كزول مسؤول بتاع الولاية، يعني في مشاكل خفيف هو أخذ مسؤولية عشان هو يفك النازل وهو مشكور بقرار ده.
سجنني إننا ناجار ناقص كتير، إننا مشكلة كلامك كليني لنزلة دواء نمر 2 ما عندنا دواء، موضوع بتاع دواء صعب لنا شوية. ثانيا ناس UN يوكان مساعدنا يوم ده بمشكلة بتاع الحمامات، هذا الحمامات بقى مليان، لما نقعد زار فوقه لنزلة ده صعب شوية. فهذا عندنا نقوله أنا رسالة بتاعي لحكومة ولاية إن ده عشان نساعدونا كاتن بتاع الحمامات، مشكلة بتاع الحمامات ودواء.
Crossing over to Jonglei State, where Governor Dr. Yegai Kok, while addressing a public rally in Panyagor, Twitch East County stresses his unwavering commitment to enhancing peace and stability in the region. He persuaded the people of Twitch East County to uphold and preserve peace and unity towards achieving sustainable development.
لو ضربوا بورا دول ضربنا من ورا، ايوه ضربنا بورا في منطقة الوضع. فدي بالنسبة لنا ده كب ده قط والقط ده زي ما الناس بيقول يمكن بيكون في خير. قط ده اللي هم عملوه في واد وفي جوي راح يكون خير للبلد ده. راح يكون خير كيف؟ وانا اشوف في عسينا في فنجور في اولاد ورور كتار من اولاد لو وفي اولاد قاور كتار قايدين مع اخوانهم منها في فنجور وفي نالا بيجا وفي فركسيكا قابلناهم قبل. هم كتار في توج بتاع توجينا وفي بور كتار. ده بنشكر فيه ربنا، بنشكر فيه ربنا.
You are all welcome to Teachers County, East Bayam, this afternoon and this evening. It is also our pleasure to have you this evening because this area has been suffering over 6 years under devastated life of water, flood and insecurity. As you have seen along these dikes of 300 meters away, it's not the center of Lit Payam. The center is about 1 kilometer from here, where all facilities were affected, including a primary health care center of Lit Payam. The same, all the school facilities are underwater in this area. So there's challenges that are facing all this population, including the 9 counties, citizens living in Lit Payam. Currently, there is no education center, there's no health facilities, and also they are affected by life cost since there is no cultivation over the 6 years. So, Your Excellency, you have seen the situation they are here. The less population you have seen and receive you today is not the population of Lit Payam. But because of challenges that are undergone is why this quarter of the population receive you this evening.
That's it from me and the team. Hi, I'm Matiang Joseph and thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more programs coming up.